Brooklyn, we go hard, 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 hard,
Yes, on time. Everything's on time today, and that's the idea, to keep it on time. I'm lying to you. We're so late. We're 4 minutes late. But we're getting closer, people. We're getting closer to getting there. But to be fair, I can't even say the team wasn't in on time today. Everyone was in. But we got a great lineup today. Sorry about that. I don't know where that came from. We turned that off. Yeah, we've got a great lineup today. And with today, we're going to go into part 2 of cyberbullying. Now, last week we went into cyberbullying more on a kind of just personal level, social level, anything that we've experienced, cyberbullying. And we came to a place where at one point it went completely left with Kobe. I don't know. Anyway, but the funny thing is now we're going to talk about cyberbullying being on a dance level, on a dance with a dance cruise and stuff like that. And if it exists, I don't even want to. I think I was initially saying, has anyone experienced it on the dance level? But does it exist? Does cyberbullying exist in the dance level? Do people kind of isolate people based on friendships and stuff like that? And yeah, do people insult people because of their dance, because of their videos, stuff like that? So we're gonna get straight into it. Let me bring everyone in. We're just missing Madame of the moment, Chloe. So she's gonna be coming in and jumping in. But between that time, we've got Mr. Big Cobes. I'm bringing him on because I want everyone to see what he's doing.
I'm eating. I'm what? Look there, orange hair, bars here and there.
I see what you did there.
Done.
All right, next we've got the one and only. I keep on saying TikTok famous, but I think he's going to get annoyed eventually if I keep saying this. And eventually, he'd like to be known as Kamani, aka Manzino.
Thank you for switching it up. What's going on, everyone?
And then we've got the one and only Lamar. Let's see how the story's put. Notice I don't ever see your hair.
That's the point. You can't see it. that is the whole point. You cannot see it. But soon come in. Like next week, everything's gonna be patterned.
You know, the shops have been open for some time on the hair.
I'm aware of it.
Time.
And then we got our
Kobe,
guest.
your professionalism is disgusting.
Yeah, I know, Cobes. There's a level
Absolutely
of like,
disgusting.
but you know what? I give you for effort for trying to still come on, but you shouldn't get effort because the president only gets to get effort if he turns up to speak. Do you know what I mean? You can't just start eating. And I don't want to hear it. 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 You know he's going to do some big off like talk. And then we got our guests for today, Bismarck.
What's going on? Everyone good?
Yeah, you're eating as well. He's throwing in the food, quickly crunching it down.
Oh no, I finished the wings. The wings pre-show. I waxed those off. There was only like 5. But yeah, I'm having a giant skittle. The clean one's palate.
Let me know what Wi-Fi you got, bro. It's amazing.
Oh, Biz, I think all of a sudden your Wi-Fi's just gone crazy.
Oh wow, one second.
Are you using your phone?
Oh, good.
To be fair, the main thing is we need to hear you. Spotify. We can hear you.
My virgin's doing the madness. 1 second.
Oh, okay, cool. Switch it up to 5 gigahertz.
And look, Kamani talking about Wi-Fi.
Do you know what? You two need to stop this. This.
Hey, Lamar, when you're not up, please. Not today, yeah? I'm just here chilling, playing with Kobe right now. I'm just chilling.
Playing Kobe? Did you... Playing Kobe. All right, cool. So let's just get straight into the quick one, news of the week. change that now. It was fun in the beginning. Now it's cheesy as frick. That's cheesy as frick. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, news of the week this week is we have the Indian variant that has hit the UK shores. So coronavirus has hit the I was gonna say coronavirus, it's been here for time. I mean the Indian variant has hit our shores, and we're talking in numbers of 3,000, but the Prime Minister refuses to close down. How does everyone feel about that?
Like it's bound to happen, isn't it? I was expecting something. It's going too long without any sort of bad news. Something was bound to come up.
Someone put something on their Facebook post, and I thought this was funny as hell. They said, "How has it not reached China and Pakistan, but it's reached Lancashire?" I was like, you know what? They got a point. You know, I know I probably shouldn't have said that, but it's a good point. How has your neighbours not got it, but Lancashire people have it, and people in London have it? Like, what the hell? That's thousands of miles away. But yeah. I don't know. Anyone else? Everyone happy with that?
I just don't know.
This is awkward.
I honestly just don't know. At this point, I don't know.
It is what it is.
Yeah. It is.
I think, yeah, at this point, I don't know. Part of me is back on my conspiracy theories, but part of me is also like, but you know, it is. I think I'm past both of them points. I think at this point I'm like, whatever's gonna keep making me like live my day-to-day life. Let it be.
Yeah.
Let's just hope.
Yeah. Let's hope for the best on that one. But yeah.
And Boris, if he ever wants to come on the show and discuss what his views, hit us up at Dance with an Opinion on Instagram.
Well, like I said, it didn't hit all the shores next to them. It surpassed every country it came to the UK. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. We still have the situation happening in between Gaza and Israel. Where's everyone's stance on that?
Bro, I like.
Say again? I didn't hear you. Am I delayed?
No, I can hear you.
Yeah. So yeah. What's everyone's stance on Israel and Palestine?
Bruv, I don't think there's really a stance to be had. We all know what's wrong is wrong, innit? If you're coming into someone's place of living and you're trying to move them out with violence, fear, and death, then it's a bit of a no-brainer. My thing is, who's responsible for giving these people the audacity to feel like that behavior is okay? That's basically it in a nutshell for me.
Isn't it crazy that back in the day we could blame someone like Trump, and now we haven't got a Trump to blame? Because Joe Biden's apparently not looking to. He's condemned it, but he's not looking to help the UN and support against it. I know it's mad, isn't it? It's mad.
Hey, she made it.
Hi guys. Hello. Good evening. How's everyone? Sorry, I looked mashed up because I just came from class, like with Biz was there as well. So I'm eating and everything.
We're all eating.
Oh, good. Okay, good. What's everyone eating?
Cody's having like curry goat. Right.
Cody, why did you not send some to my house, please?
Curry, chicken, rice, carrots, potato, and broccoli, and water with ice.
Like I said,
Big trouble in little Jamaica, innit? He's having a good one.
Why do you put the pinky finger when you're drinking water?
Because guys, join me on this one. 1, 2, 3. Life change. Come on. You know me better than that.
He still keeps on showing the ring that you paid 30 quid for barking.
It was £27.50. It wasn't £30.
Absolutely great. Did you get it from Warren James? Did you get it from Warren James?
Yeah.
What the jewelers? Mad.
But So that's the news of the week. So basically, the Indian variants hit, what you call it, shores and Palestine, Palestinians and Israelis. I don't know how you say it. They're still at beef. They're still looking to kill each other. I'll say this: Israel is in the wrong, but I think at the end of the day, I think the UK and America need to take a stance in this because it's their fault this happened. And if you know the history on it, UK actually offered them Kenya or Israel or that part of the land, the Palestinians, and they picked there because they believed in that's what Zionist means. I mean, but Mali talks about Zion. It's mean going back to where you come from. And obviously, originally the Jews were pushed out by the Romans. So it's one of them ones where they believe, wow, 2,000 years later, we got our land back. In their eyes, how they look at it. While as, I don't know. And they're like the last Christian, well, obviously I know, if you know how Judaism is still part of Christianity, they're the last Christian country in the Arab places. So, but yeah. All right, let's get straight into it. Cyberbullying in dance. Last week we talked about it on just a personal level. Now we're talking about a dance level. Does it exist? And I'm going to go around, I'll go straight to Manzina. Manzina, does it exist?
I feel like to an extent, but I don't feel like it's pushed in front of your face. I feel like it's so hidden behind, like it's not right in front of you, innit? But it does happen, 100%.
You know, I'm sorry, I'm laughing because Stefano's in the background. he's just there, and he's looking. He's like, Sorry, Martina. Apologies. Yeah. All right. Cool. Lamar.
Yes, it does happen.
Thank you for your great one word. Bismarck.
I think it happens. It's a spectrum thing. So I'm not sure what we classify as cyberbullying because we've got all these other terminologies around, like throwing shade and stuff like that. But isn't that technically cyberbullying? So it's hard. We need to quantify what it actually is.
Yeah. Chloe?
I think it does, and but sometimes I think people don't realize it. One thing I don't get, well, this is me, maybe I'm old school. If I have a problem with you, I'm not gonna write it on your Instagram. I'm gonna find your number and call you and tell you how I feel. I just don't understand that when people go to social media straight away. If it's a franchise or
My internet is doing the most.
Yeah. Yes, that's cool. Sorry,
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. We can hear you. You're back, Biz, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I'm gonna change my internet in case I disappear.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sorry, Chloe. Go on.
It's all right. I think if it's a franchise or an organization or a company where, like, say you're not going to find a customer service number, so you have to tweet them and say, look, this is crap. And then they holler back at you. Like, I don't understand why you can't just holler at someone. Like, especially if it's like, I'm thinking like, when people call out people about, I don't know, it could be about styles or it could be about something to do with something they might have done. And I think that should be like the last resort if that's how you want to handle something in front of everyone. Whereas you can, like, especially in the scene, I could get, like, some people I don't know, like, too tough in here. I could get your number. You know what I mean? I can get your number. If I really wanted to talk to you, I would get your number and speak to you. So I don't know. I guess if it's from afar, like from trolls, then I think that it exists because there's people that literally just go online to just chat crap and cuss people, especially celebrities and stuff. Like, I think they get mad. But if you're talking about generally in like the dance scene, I think it happens, but I just don't get it. I think if you've got a problem, just holler at the person in it and sort it out like civilized adults.
100%. I didn't think of it like that because obviously one thing is if it's what Bismarck just said, there's a spectrum of level of cyberbullying. Are you just talking about the cyberbullying of sending something on someone's wall? Or are you talking about the one where you're indirecting? Cobes, does cyberbullying exist in the dance scene?
I would say yes, it does. And here's why I say that. Because, I think we're using the term, we use the term bullying as like very detrimental, kind of like what you're saying about spectrum. I feel like bullying is like But when the word is said, it's very much you think, it's like but it doesn't have to be that. Like it could be throwing shade or whatever. But whatever you call it, the foundation of it is technically it would be bullying. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that means you're cussing because if you're cussing someone for their styles, like why do you have to go on? Like why do you have to out them? One is what I would say. Like that because they might actually not know. Like there's some people out there that are teaching or whatnot, or they're just dancing. They just want to live their life. They just want to move freely, and you've come out of the woodwork, and now you want to get onto them, but they wasn't looking to do anything more than what just move around in the space. Like and now you're just calling them out, making it feel like crap. Yes, Biz.
Cool. So I'm gonna be the devil's advocate here. And I'm sure we've all seen it. I'm sure there's been a point in your dance career you've seen something and it's made you laugh. And you thought, what is this? Or you thought, that's whack. I see everyone smiling and you've gone to your friend, come on, fam. Watch that video, fam. What are they doing? Because I know I have. I'm keeping it 100. I'm keeping it 100. I have done it. However, there's a difference between me doing it personally with someone else and me being like on Instagram, on their Instagram account, laughing at them publicly and being a bit like, and this is why I'm like, there's a spectrum to what this is. There's people.
But what is the definition of cyberbullying? Like, if it was broken down into points, like what would you consider cyberbullying?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
Is it in your DMs bullying? Is it on your page bullying? Is it?
Shall I read it out? There's an actual.
Oh yes, please. Yeah.
Read it out, and then let me get the page up actually, so you can see it for yourselves as well. So the definition. Oh, nearly there. There we go. Okay, this is what they say definition is. So cyberbullying is bullying that takes place over digital devices like cell phones, computers, and tablets. Cyberbullying can occur through SMS, text, SMS, I had that in ages, and apps, or online social media forums or gaming where people can view, participate in, or share content. Cyberbullying includes sending, posting, and sharing negative, harmful, false, or mean content about someone else, which happens hardcore in a dance scene. Anyway, it can include sharing personal or private information about someone else, causing embarrassment or humiliation. I don't know why I said it like that. Some cyberbullying crosses the line into unlawful or criminal behavior. So into unlawful. The most common place where cyberbullying occurs are social media such as Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, text messaging and messaging apps on mobile and tablet devices, instant messaging, direct messaging and online chatting over the internet, online forum, chat rooms, and message boards such as Reddit, email, online gaming communities. Okay. If that's what cyberbullying is, it's hardcore in a dance scene. If that's what cyberbullying.
Hold on, I've got a question. So yeah, at what point does it come under cyberbullying? Because if someone's like said something and I've retaliated with something that's negative or whatnot, like if I cut someone out here online because they got onto me or whatever, is that still cyberbullying, or is that just cussing them out?
Well, if you read based on what it says there, if you're intending to be mean, negative, or harmful, or false, or making up another narrative, then it's a form of cyberbullying.
Well, Kobe, that's a good question. But then I'd also say, what did the person say to you first?
That's the question.
Yeah, because I feel like now, cyberbullying for me, under that definition, isn't making a joke or laughing with your friends about something. It's going out of your way to shame someone on social media. And this goes especially for influencers, because people who put themselves out on TikTok and YouTube, those comments can be like brutal. If someone wants to tell you what they think of you or want to be negative, you're kind of out there, and you put you're vulnerable because you're an influencer and because people have access to you. So I feel like as young people, it's if you're not strong of character, it's a very dangerous time and a dangerous place to be in, because some people haven't got the strength to allow that stuff to go over their head, and people take that stuff in.
Why do you think people are negative online in the dance scene? Why do you think that people feel? I mean, I'm
Because
just gonna read out what
You know
Hakeem
why?
said. Hakeem said
Because
maybe they're using social media because that's the only way they can be heard. Sorry, go on.
it's because they're just not rated in it, and someone that's of a high hierarchy in the dancing that is rated doesn't rate that person. That's why. Let's be real. Like,
I think there's
I
quite a
don't
lot of
know.
reasons.
Same.
I think one main one is like jealousy. I feel like a lot of people that are jealous and like bitter of not even people. I feel like sometimes they don't hate the person. Sometimes the position that person's put in, kind of what Kamani is saying, like really bluntly, yeah. If I got a job,
what Manzini was saying on that one.
yeah, like if I got a job and someone else didn't get a job and like, but they need that job, in 10 years' time they might hold that grudge against me. But they actually haven't got a problem with me. They have a problem with what I got over them. Do you know what I mean?
But Chloe mentioned it. As Chloe said it already. If you got an issue, why don't you just call them up and say something? Why do you need to blast it on social media?
Because of what's it called? Defamation of character, something like that. You wanna
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. It's technically illegal. What you're doing is illegal. You're destroying someone's character on something that you don't know for a fact. You're saying you're blacklisting someone, and you're creating a cult system.
cancel culture is real, man.
Because it's like, so you're embarrassing someone, you're saying they're rubbish or whatever, and everyone's laughing. But don't get it wrong. I think with Biz, what Biz said as well is true. I've done it before. I just haven't gone out of my way to go and deal with certain people.
But do you think it's actually that deep for you to actually comment on somebody's social media posts and be negative? Do you really think it's that deep? Because for you to actually pick up the phone and call them, that must mean that you have some type of relationship. Because I'm not gonna call somebody that I barely even know about their set. Because to me, it's pointless.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, would you like?
I'm saying if someone sends for you, like if you're like, for example, if someone wrote on my post, like you're a worst man or something, instead of me writing it back or trying to attack them online, I will go and find them and talk to them and say, well, like, what's going on? That's what I'm saying. Like, and the thing is, if it's a petty thing, then obviously it's just people acting stupid. But I mean, sometimes people actually make negative comments, whether it's like they're not happy with something or they have an issue with that person, but they're trying to deal with it online so that everyone can see. And as you said, it's defamation of character, which isn't, professional nor supportive in the scene. When everyone knows each other, it's not hard to get someone's number and just call them or Insta call, whatever that thing is, the video thing. Like you could call someone. Do you know what I mean? If it is that deep, you can call them. And I think that's the difference of like what Kobe said about the defamation of character. Clearly, that person has set out to want to make you look like a dickhead in front of everyone. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Admittedly, I've done it. I will put my hands up to it. I did it. I did it to Shani a few years ago with you because I was pissed off with a situation. Everyone knows it's not a secret. Everyone knows about it. It was all online, and I was pissed off about something. And I was like, you know what? I'm calling you out. And then he said, you did it for attention? I said, of course I did it for attention. That's why I put it on social media. I didn't do it for nothing else. So I've been there, and I can see why that would even be seen as bullying, isn't it? Like I was being a dickhead about it. Do you know what I mean?
But did you talk before? Or what made you go to social media? Because it's a good example. Like, what made you just head to social media? Like, what was your aim? What was your desired outcome?
I think to kind of before you talk on that, I think it's like his name Logan.
You know what?
It's still kind of relevant, but what's his name? Logan Paul, is that his name?
Yeah.
Like if I go online now and say, "Oh, I bet 10K that Logan Paul went funny," like it's that the same kind of principle, no?
No, but when I did it, I think I think it came across to people because people labeled me as a bully because I was like, you could beat him. And I was like, no.
Before I continue, so I wasn't talking about your situation. I was just talking about my situation.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. But I can understand why people thought I was bullying. Why it wasn't because I thought it was cocky, but there was a personal thing that was happening beforehand that got me to a place that was like, you know what? And then obviously jump off, try to put it together. There was a no. This crew put it together. There was a no. And I guess this is where it comes to that point of, is cyberbullying exist? It's a little bit like, well, was I cyberbullying?
But I don't. That's what I mean. I think it's interesting. I think because again, Kobe's kind of said it. But if you've had a conversation, you've had like plenty of conversations. There's still like an energy. If you're calling out someone like, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's like, was you calling them out like battle type call out, or was it just like you're a dickhead?
No, it was a battle.
Yeah,
Oh.
but the reason why you were calling that person out on a battle tip in front of everyone was because you wanted to get a reaction. You knew if you had done it behind closed doors, you wouldn't have got the reaction you wanted.
We did get behind closed doors, and it was being rejected.
Exactly. So that's why you made it public.
I was going Don King on this shit, and then I went, I'm going to do a Don King thing. You know when DonKing does, he makes it public, so everyone goes, now the fight has to happen.
Because you're adding fuel to the fire because you're not getting the response you want.
Yeah.
But then is that not considered then like a competitive call out rather than like a side?
I wouldn't say that was cyberbullying because you had a conversation prior.
I got labeled for it though. That's what I got labeled.
Yeah,
I got labeled a bully for it.
It comes across like that because there's no context as to what happened before. That wasn't shared. There wasn't a sharing of information where you said, we've already had a conversation in private and I'm just basically saying what I said before out loud. It just looks like a confrontation built from nothing.
Yeah, because that's what I was saying before. If it's a last resort, like I said about companies and franchises and stuff, like if you haven't got through to anyone and it's a last resort, then I can understand, especially if it's a competitive call out, but because then the opponent has the opportunity to reply or not. Like it's up to them. But I think like cyberbullying is a lot deeper than just like, well, for me, thankfully I haven't had like DMs or anything, but I'm sure there's people that must get DMs of like bullying or someone not being very nice. Thinks a lot different than just like writing on someone's status, because that's really personal. I haven't personally experienced it, so I can't really talk much on it. But
and I guess it was Manzini, you were saying that before where you said you kind of questioned it. Go on.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say like I feel like there's two different perspectives on when it comes to cyberbullying. There's the people that make these fake accounts that just troll, chat rubbish in the comments 24s, and then there's the normal people like us that be having confrontation and just spread animosity and like negativity, and it's normal people. And I feel like the people that are trolling, you can't stop that. That's never gonna stop. But us normal people, I feel like it's whether you wanna. It's like you gotta look at the bigger picture, innit? That's what it comes down to. But there's definitely gotta be something personal, because if you don't know better than to not run social media, then you need to learn. Because I've done it before, and I learned from it. So I feel like maybe it's something you gotta learn from. But yeah.
Do you think social media platforms need to be regulated?
100%.
But I think that they are. Well, they're meant to be by like the actual companies, like the apps. But I guess there's probably only so many people compared to how many people are on that actual app themselves. But I was gonna ask, like I feel like has anyone experienced cyberbullying, like actually experienced it themselves?
Cyberbullying, yes. Dance cyberbullying, I've had it indirectly.
You've had it been directed?
Indirectly.
Oh, what does that mean?
So I mean things like online stuff, you know, when people put things up on their social media and stuff, and it's like you're blatantly indirecting us.
Am I wrong for thinking that bullying happens over a long period of time, or can it also be?
No. I think it can. I was going to say that for me, I think bullying is a consistent, like it builds over time. But I think also there can be short bursts as well. But I definitely think cyberbullying to this extent is like someone on someone like all the time.
Yeah. I used to call it character assassination. You're basically there to like ruin that person and just tarnish their reputation. So I'm not sure if it's classified as cyberbullying, but a couple of years back, I had a run-in with someone who I'm not going to name, and basically we had a conversation, and that person was on social media writing some really like rude things to me, and I decided to take the moral high road. But it was peak because when I saw that person after they had said all that stuff on Facebook, they didn't have the same energy. They had calmed down because someone would have lost their lives. It's different when you're typing. There's keyboard warriors, and then there's people where if you see them in real life, I want you to come with the same energy you had behind the keyboard.
This is what I'm talking about.
People don't.
People. Yeah, because you would not,
People
you would
don't.
not come up in my face and say that, because that's what gets me mad. I like when people get gassed online. You would not bring Arms House to my house, bruv. You would not do that. Why would you do that online? It doesn't make sense.
I do think there's a culture of like people who are a lot more entitled and brave on the internet now because people.
So some of these youngers hear that.
It's not even about youngers. I just think people feel like they're entitled to have an opinion, which they are. But you've got to know where your opinion stops, and you're just being rude, or you're being like you're talking grease. So if you're talking grease, say what you want to say, but back it up.
It's because back it up. Like our phones, and like whatever devices, whatever device you have, iPad, computer, I don't know. But when you're holding it and you're typing, it's gonna sound so easy, but it's like a wall, isn't it? What I type on this side of the wall, you receive on the other side. But this wall is protecting us. Because if you come bang in my face, the wall is there. You can't bang me in my face. However, when you see the person in real life now, it gets a bit techie. Because like you lot said, the energy game is very different. However, though, on the other side, what point, like if I come to you on a different type of energy, and I'm blessed now or whatever, but you're not blessed with me, what point does it become not reverse cyberbullying, but like reverse something? Do you know what I mean? Like because I've let it go, you have to let it go, even though you haven't sorted it on your side.
This is why people need to know their limits. Yes, you may have a screen, and yes, you can hide behind it, but as people, there's limits to this, and there's rules and regulations. And half of that is
rules and regulations.
Let my brothers speak, people.
Because there's only so much you can speak about something. One thing I can't talk. Then people that love talking about things that they don't know nothing about. Like you just talk.
Wait,
like
why is his eyes closed though? You sound hurt.
No, it annoys me so much. Like, okay, just know your limits, innit? Like, just know your limits. There's rules and regulations to this, yeah? If it's that deep about it, type it in your notes, yeah? Put a little diary about it and type it in your notes if it's that serious. If you need to get it out that much, talk to your parents. Talk to your parents,
I can't lie. I don't know why people feel the need to just say something when there's the option to just not say anything.
Exactly. Like, and you're telling people your opinion like we wanted to hear it anyways.
Therapy, though. It's therapy, though.
Bro.
It's entitlement.
Yeah, it's a bit of entitlement. It's a bit of therapy. I think it makes you feel better.
You could have just not said nothing, but you chose to. Like,
but then there's a bravado about it.
When you see that person in real life, though.
Well, I'm talking. But cool. What have you lot ever been fake in comments? In it, like if you've seen a dance video that's trash,
I do it all the time.
Have you gassed it up?
What? I didn't hear. I do it
all the time. Fire emojis.
Like a dance video that's trash.
But not do it. You do it to my videos. I do it to your video. We do it to each other all the time.
Chill out.
Wait! I didn't hear it properly. Did you say gas? Would you gas it up online and then would you do it in real life? Is that what you said?
No, he said sometimes. Have you ever been fake? Sometimes. I said sometimes I have. Sometimes I haven't actually.
Online.
I wouldn't say I've been a prick about it. It's more like I've just been like.
Why is Bismarck busting up? I really need to
busting up in the corner.
Do you know why I'm laughing? Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm being fake. I'm just looking for the things in it I really like in it. It might not be a great video, but I appreciate the effort.
Thank you. That's what it is for me.
I'm gonna like it. That's why I'm laughing.
So you get fire, black heart.
Yeah.
Fire,
What's
fire,
that?
black heart.
Yeah. Oh wow. Is that so wait, Omar just told everyone that when he thinks your video is mediocre,
No.
let me look at my comments on
No.
Omar,
Hey, guys.
cyberbullying,
Don't
Omar.
twist this. Don't twist this.
Omar's out here cyberbullying his panel.
Don't twist this.
Fire, fire, black heart emoji, yeah?
in it.
Oh.
You know what? Hold on, wait. Before
Let me
explain myself,
even
man.
watch the video.
The reason why I was gonna say I'm fake is because there's one time I fell asleep and my phone was still scrolling. I was double tapping, but my phone was locked. Now she's gonna say I was fake for this because I wasn't watching anything. I was asleep, but my finger was still scrolling and double tapping and scrolling and double tapping, but nothing was being double tapped. That's what I was gonna say. I'm fake. But I'm not fake. Omar doesn't watch videos.
No,
I'm not
true.
fake.
No, that's true. Let me explain what I do. The thing is, I'm on Bismarck's level on this one. Bismarck, I'm taking you down with me. I'm on Bismarck's level on this one. I appreciate what you're doing. So it's not that because I'm a creative, I'm too busy to really sit there and watch 5 minutes of your video. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna watch the first bit, maybe skip it across, get to the end bit. I appreciate for you to post this fire emoji. I love this. I tell you the first video I watched recently. I don't even know who they are. I can't remember their names. It was a couple. No. See, I feel bad. No, but they were rappers. They were rappers.
You just said I watched the video. I can't remember who they are, but I watched the video.
No, it was really good. It's a really good video. I think that's the first video I watched from start to end.
But you can't remember who they are, bro.
I don't remember anyone's one. I think like the most recent videos I've watched. And but this is not cyberbullying. This is me supporting. The most recent videos I've watched was Chloe's, Olu's, and Kobe's. I think that's the most recent videos I watched. Mine's
You're funny, guys. You're funny.
Don't try it.
Hold on.
I watched it. Body. I watched it. Codes. I watched it. Body. I watched all of it. I don't think I liked it. I watched it.
I posted 4 videos since then.
You post every other half an hour.
That's right.
Miss the content a day.
Again. But let me explain myself again.
You deserve to get cyberbullied on that ish right there.
Everyone's just gonna watch this. But videos. I do watch videos. Oh, but you're my proof. Do I not watch videos?
You watch Blue Therapy. You don't watch. Don't try.
Let me explain. This is why I scroll, I double tap, I put comment. If the video, like, if I like it, then I'll comment, and if I really like it, then I'll share it. But sometimes I like it and like comment. I go back later and rewatch it later. So like I won't watch it then and comment then. I'll just save it and I'll scroll back on my feed later and I'll be like, oh, let me watch it now. It makes sense.
Who you? Who you, Kobe?
Actually, no, I do. I'm actually always watching videos from, I don't know how long ago.
Kobe, you just got a notification, didn't you? Yeah, I just liked it. But it was a very good video. But I watched it to the end. I want you to know that. I swear it did good. It did like 10K views. Well done. So, yeah. So cyberbullying, we're finishing off. There's only 5 minutes left. Oh, he's actually gone to look at it. Taken away from that, we've kind of deviated, but coming back. So, do we believe it exists? I think the main question I was really going to get to was: is there a cure? Does it need to be cured?
I don't think there's so much a cure. It's just being aware of what it is. If you're aware of what it is, you know how to handle the situation. So it's very clear when cyberbullying is cyberbullying, like forget the social media. As Chloe said, have a conversation. Have a conversation. And if after the conversation, you need to do what you need to do, you do what you do. I'm not saying go out and kill people, but I'm just saying you'll be able to tell after your conversation what you need to do to resolve the situation, or if the situation's worth resolving. If not, block.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, there's also like obviously online. I know it probably doesn't solve everything, but if someone is really like not stopping that, like if they're harassing you, then it should really be reported, like actually legally reported, like to the police, because they actually deal with cyberbullying. But also just blocking someone, like Biz said, that you have the ability to do that. But I think it shouldn't get to that. If it's in the dance scene as well, I think that's sad, because as a community we should really support each other and not like who. I just don't understand who has time to do that. Like who actually has time to sit there and write stuff like that? I think it's just it's mad.
Lamar, you was gonna say before. He's gonna say before. I heard you say you were about to say something.
Oh no, I was just talking about how blue therapy is actually mad. But carry on.
I've seen a new one.
Bro, I'm in the middle of it. I'm about to watch the rest of it when I'm finished.
Nah, I need to watch it. Oh, but wait till I come to live house. I'll watch it.
Okay. So, finishing off, we're in a place where we can say that, okay, cool, cyberbullying exists. There are different ways to kind of cure it. There are some people, obviously, that deal with cyberbullying, but it's external in their dance, which I haven't talked about. But I know, Manzino, you've been through it for your dance. You talked about it being called racist, receiving racist comments, being called the N-word and stuff like that. And that's obviously, I mean, there's only 3 minutes left, but that's also something I guess have we all experienced it? We talked about, I don't know, Chloe, Biz, have you experienced that on a dance level, but external, not in the scene? Like receive comments and stuff like that?
I have, I think time ago, not recently, I have like had dead out like random comments, but I personally ignore them. I don't really, like, if I knew the person, I would definitely holler at them and say, what's going on? But
I'm fortunate. Sorry. I had a similar experience to Chloe, I think about 12, 13 years ago. And I must have a picture up and someone said something and my friends had my back. Like to the point where they acted on it before I even saw it. Like there's certain things that just aren't cool or called for and they just need to be nipped in the bud.
That's a really good example, because I think that's that should be the solution. Like if we all see someone getting like badded up, everyone should go, yo, like louder.
What you did?
Dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in public, right? You are like, that's dead. What are you doing? Like, allow it. I think that makes.
I'm glad you brought it up. Okay, cool. We've all seen a few indirect messaging and all that stuff online. Maybe some form of cyberbullying. There are some people I personally feel get cyberbullied, in my opinion, from, I'm not going to say it out loud, but in the dance scene. Like, I definitely see it. Why does no one say anything about it?
But the problem is, Omar, we don't know who you're talking about to make that.
Tell me, I will write on that now. Who is that?
Yeah, if you want to do this.
I've seen plenty. I can't do it. I can't do it. But
I've seen. Sorry.
I'll send it private.
Omar, send the WhatsApp. We don't need to name the person. Yeah.
I feel like I know who you're talking about.
Wait, can you repeat what you said? I missed the last sentence.
Okay. With that person.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. No. Okay. No, you know what it's for me. For me, I've been one of the people to say I'm not a fan. Okay, cool. But I've seen some things where it's like, okay, guys, really.
Okay, that person does have a hate campaign.
I will see the same thing happen from someone else, and they will do it, and it's like no one will say anything about it. I'll see this person do something, and everyone's on the DMs on it, and I'm like, yo. Am I the only one who's seeing? But then again,
but also,
people are selective.
But also, this person has put themselves in a position where they've become a target.
And I agree with that, but I'm saying
it's not making it okay, but there's a reason why people are coming after this person. It's not like they've just woken up one day and gone, you know what, I don't like this person. Let me be out of order.
But then go for that person. Go for that person personally. Actually message them and go for it. Stop putting the indirect. There's no need for the indirect. There's no need for the I don't like.
Like that. In situations like that, yeah, one, people are selective, and two, people put personal agendas to a situation. For example, if someone has something against me, yeah, and I say something, they're gonna, if that person has a problem with me already, they're more likely gonna come from me because they're using what I've said as the jump under what they already were thinking or feeling. Whereas if I'm the commander said it and no one has a problem against him, no one's gonna say anything. Or if they do, it's purely
wrong. I think it's wrong. It's one of the biggest things that I think we've seen. I think it's so bad. It's like you know what is, but you all know, you know me very well. There's one thing, I think we're all hypocrites. We all do things that's hypocritical. I'm not going to say that I've never done anything. I may do things I don't even realize now that's hypocritical. But then I hate strong hypocrites. Like, you know, strong hypocrites. People that will preach it on social media, go hardcore about it.
Yep. Extremists.
Ish about, So that it's different if we'll do something like maybe that, like for example, today, I'm a person who says, do you need to put it on social media? But someone tried to offer me something and I was like, nah, piss me off today. I said, what, you think I'm worth 25 quid an hour? So obviously, do you know what I mean? So I'm being a hypocrite in a little way because I could have easily told them. And I did tell them. I broke it down for them. But then I felt like, nah, I want the world to know what I'm feeling right now.
I saw you posted it.
Yeah,
you posted it on your thing.
Yeah. So I'm even though you would say you have your right to do that, I'm a slight hypocrite. Do you get what I'm saying? So I will take that. But then I hate the strong hypocrites. You know, the ones that will preach it till kingdom come. But you then was in the same video doing the same thing and you didn't see anything wrong with that. Do you know what I mean? And that's when I'm like, yo, what? So that means you weren't doing it because you felt it was wrong. Because I was with you when you thought it was wrong. You were doing it because you're selective on how your decision on. So it's the person is your issue, not the problem. Not I don't want to call it a problem. Not the situation, not the thing that an individual was doing. It was you had an issue with them, and then you used that. It was like the studio thing. I was speaking. I don't know if I should say it's out loud, but I was speaking to the organizers at like places like Hub and all that stuff, and they were saying like the way people were going in, it was literally like bullying. Like they were, how can you open? And it was like, you know, they wouldn't open unless the government was. They were already.
That's a really good point. Though. That's what I mean about like the Hub has an email. Yeah, it has an email. It has a number. Like if you had those complaints, like write them complaints. Do you know what I mean? Why are you putting it online? Like. It makes no that I don't understand.
You see what I'm saying? Like quick to not come down. And I'm like, yo, wait, hold up. Everyone has gone within government guidelines. If they'd gone, they wouldn't have opened unless they were given okay. Do you know what I mean? If they wouldn't open, but we want to be police officers. But instead of being, if you want to be police officers, go to the person, call the people up, call base, call this person, do that. Instead, we need to go online and make a thing about it and everything, and then blacklist them, make negative things, even though you probably didn't even know you was allowed to actually still rehearse. Half the people did not realize you actually were still allowed to rehearse. If you were doing any form of job, you were allowed to rehearse. Up to a max of 30 people. There wasn't an issue with it. But because no one reads anything, they just wanted to quick to destroy it. And it was like, I just get confused with this scene. I feel like
you're cyberbullying a lot of people right now.
That is the best line of this whole show.
Anyway, I think the cure for me is, in my opinion, for other people, the other side is blocking and all that stuff. But I think the cure individually is what Lamar said. Write it down, look at it, and if you realize it's not improving your life, don't waste your time. That's my opinion. I don't know what anyone else is, but I think because sometimes you do need to rant it. But if you write it down, you look back at it and you're like, yeah, this isn't worth my time. Don't post
But I think it's also, that's great advice for internet warriors that don't have anything better to do when they type on their keyboards and try and ring people. At the end of the day, if it's not constructive, if it isn't going to do anything, don't do it. If you want to make a difference, there's a constructive way of doing it. Let's have discussions, not witch hunts. So I feel like this culture right now, there's a lot of witch hunting as opposed to actually having dialogue and conversations. Like, for instance, everyone's saying, oh, you shouldn't go to the studio. Why wasn't there an open dialogue had between the studio owners and the dancers stating their opinion and having a conversation? It didn't happen. It turned into a manhunt. It was either our way or their way. So if you're seen to go to the studio, you're bad because you're not thinking about other people and you're being selfish. But that could have been a conversation and a dialogue had.
But then you're posting next week with your friends. I'm sorry, you're selective. You're with your friends outside doing next things.
That one I hear.
Omar, I think the whole pandemic thing for the last year has been very selective. At first, everyone was very much like, oh, let's all stay in our houses. It's very dangerous. Cool. Then time passed. And as time passed, people started like being a bit more like, you know what? I'm gonna go out because I don't think that this is. I think we're all puppets in that sense. A lot of people don't have their own free will and are very dictated as to what they can do by the people around them. And it's learning to be an individual and have an opinion. You're allowed to, and I encourage it, man. Like, think for
agree
yourself.
with you, but then I think it's bullying in the sense that
Right.
I can't help it because everyone says don't go to the hub. You want to go, but then you're like, I guess not. And that's what obviously you go back to the definition of what bullying is, when they spread lies. You know it's not true. You know if it weren't allowed to be open, you won't be able to go. But now you're feeling like I can't go now because if I do,
Wait, I got a question, yeah, because I was talking about it with someone else before. Someone with a negative and bad view, should they still be allowed to have their opinion?
Yeah,
But should
Why?
you speak is another discussion. Though.
because whether it's negative or positive, it's their opinion. You're allowed to have your opinion. I just think you've got to be careful about the way in which you put it out there. You can have a negative opinion that can be constructive, I think.
No, I'm
Or a
saying
posi-
rude, like,
Oh, rude.
yeah.
It depends on how it's delivered. If it was, you could have a rude opinion. Say it was a one-on-one thing. I'm all for having rude opinions if you're actually talking to someone. But if you're doing it over social media and it's like defamation of character, that's character assassination. I don't think that's cool. I don't think you need to be rude on public platforms. Yeah, on public platforms, because I just feel you're doing it to just cause trouble.
I think it's about what the person's saying, because I think a lot of the time when someone says something negative, it's actually a projection from them onto someone else. Like, it's actually something that they're dealing with as opposed to like what they think of the other person. So I think it's more so sits with the person that has that negative comment, because I think you can disagree with something, but there's ways to articulate yourself that doesn't come across rude.
Yeah.
I think it's how you articulate something as opposed to like, because me cussing you and saying something that like you can't change about yourself, I think it's rude. Whereas like if I express my opinion and also offering the opportunity to share your opinion, like there's a feedback method in creative world where basically it's done in questions where you actually ask the artist like, can I actually give you feedback? And that person can then say like yes or no. Do you know what I mean? And it's you actually ask to offer that feedback.
Yeah.
As opposed to like you're like that's crap. Do you know?
It's funny you do that. I did that today. I was talking to someone at class and I was like, oh, can I offer an honest opinion on something? It might not necessarily come across like it was constructive. So it might have come across negative, but it had a positive implication to it. And I was just basically saying to that person, I think you're dope. Like, I think that you are more than just the sum of your affiliation. So I want to see you do more stuff for yourself as an individual, because I think you're capable of doing that.
But that's not negative though.
I know. I know, but then some people might take that to heart because they might see it as, like, are you trying to say that the people I'm affiliated with aren't good? No, I'm just saying I see your worth and I think you're capable of doing stuff for yourself. So sometimes you've got to be in the right space to take that sort of information
I
in.
was just going to say that, yeah, I think sometimes it's being selective also when you give that information. I think coming off of, if you come off, I'll give you an example. If Lamar comes off a stage, just performs and say, yo, can I give you some feedback? Wrong time. Because I personally think it's the wrong time. That person's just gone through whatever they've gone through to get to that stage. The work level, the things, I don't know, the music went wrong, the drive up to there, the rehearsals, everything is all built up to this moment. And the first thing they get is a negative feedback when they come on stage. I think sometimes what it's best to do is say, let's talk. And I think face to face, if it's not Zoom, obviously that's the closest we can get. If it's not Zoom, a face to face conversation. I was watching this thing about how you communicate, and they say if you talk at them, it makes people feel like, okay, piss off. If you sit side by side on them and actually conversate with them, it makes them feel a bit more comfortable. Text messages, even I've learned, because I sometimes give criticism on text message, it doesn't work because you can read it differently. And if you already have a negative connotation towards that person, in the fact that when they do give you feedback, it's negative, doesn't matter what they say and how they say it, it's negative to you. Even when sometimes you're saying it in a soft voice notes are the best level next, but sometimes that can be dismissed. So I think if you really believe in the feedback you're giving to the person, I think sometimes face-to-face is better. I think now we've had the option of Zoom. That's better. Phone call was what I would have said. But now I think, no, we can have Zoom because sometimes you can put the phone down and dismiss it. However, if your relationship with them is good, a phone call is good enough. Do you get what I'm saying? So I've had
definitely
conversations with Biz in the past. I've had conversations with Jade. They tend to be the people that give me the criticism, and a friend called Christina from Manchester. And they will talk to me, but they'll never ever say what you did was ish. They'll be like, in fact, that's another thing I learned. Start off positively. Don't come in negative. Don't come in come in with a positive thing. I love what you did. Just want to give it. If you want to hear this, you don't have to. But if you do, let me know. Then you go. You normally and then you go. I don't know. I think people sometimes don't know how to maneuver positively with feedback. Do you get what I'm saying? And they don't know when to give that feedback.
Because I think it lies with the person as well that's receiving that feedback or that conversation. Because what your opinion is on my work, for example. If that person isn't strong-minded, it can alter that person's journey. Do you know what I mean? Like it can alter that person's like creative decision making. Like, and I think that's a really delicate place because if you're someone that wants to create work and you're really worried about what other people think of you all the time, you end up then trying to create work that's just gonna please everyone that comments on it, if that makes sense. Whereas, yeah, I think it's a really grey area because it's hard to know when or what you're going to say is going to be helpful, unless it's worded in a way where it's like I said, like an offering, or it's like positively articulated. Because it's like for example, I don't know, the lighting was crap. Like instead of saying the lighting was poo, you could say I would have added this as an option and open it up as an option, as opposed to like just a straight comment or something you didn't like personally. I think it's a bit different.
I think what you just said is there. It's the offering and knowing who you're offering it to, and if they're in the, I think that's very important. Very important. Boy, yeah. I mean, I think we got to a good place. Is it right if I finish, everyone? Everyone feeling good for the finish? Yeah.
I just want to say, I apologize to everyone that I owe my cyberbully today. I hope everyone's feeling all right. And Omar, you may finish now.
Excellent.
On that note, yeah, hope everyone had a good day. Tonight's been a hard night, hard evening, should we say. Everyone's probably working hard, sweating. I know Codes wanted to say something before we go. Go on, Codes.
I come up with a little slogan to end our cyberbullying episode 2.
Marzina, I was so tempted, but I stopped myself. I was so tempted to go.
Gonna need you just to go to the outro. You did a joke, man. Don't commentate, conversate. I'll leave you with that. Every time. Oh!